Do we have a visitor? Come over here. Here you go. Good boy. If you want to be in the video, you have to play by my rules. No hitting, no choking. Okay? Okay. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maddie, this is Henry, and today I am doing a horror book haul. It is super gloomy outside today. We've had a lot of really great weather, but today is pretty gloomy. So I decided what a better thing to do than film a spooky horror book haul. So this book haul will probably be my last haul for a little while. I put myself on a book buying ban. I was getting a little bit out of control. Every time I would have any sort of minor Anytime I would have any sort of minor inconvenience, I would immediately go to Indigo and buy myself a book, and my wallet cannot handle that. So book buying ban for now, and I will focus on reading the books that are on my shelves. Some of these I've already posted on my Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram, I'll link it down below so we can be book friends, but I've never mentioned them on my YouTube channel, so I am including them as well. So the first two books that I have to share today are The Shining and Misery by Stephen King. This book's pretty shiny, so I don't know if you can see the reflection, but I'll try not to move it too much. But I bought both of these for my Stephen King reading vlog. I'm planning to read The Long Walk, which I've already hauled. Since I've never read Stephen King before, I kind of just picked them up based on the plot that I read at the back of the book. I just went with what I thought I would enjoy, and we'll see how these turn out for me. So The Shining is about a man who gets a job at a hotel, and then things just get kind of out of control. I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm sure that you've heard of The Shining. Misery is about an author who ends up killing off one of the main characters in his books and gets in a car crash, and one of his number one fans, Anne, ends up rescuing him, but she is not very happy that he killed off Misery. So very much looking forward to both of these, and you should see them in a reading vlog very soon. The next book that I have to share with you today is Chasing the Boogeyman. A recent college grad comes back to his hometown where a serial killer is basically terrorizing the town, and he recounts the events that took place during that time. To be honest, I just basically bought this based on the cover and the fact that it was about serial killers, so I don't know much more about it, and I haven't really seen many reviews about it, so I'm pretty much going in blind for this one. The next book that I have to share with you today is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Shirley Jackson is another author that I have not read from yet. I know, all of the horror classics, I'm totally failing at that. But I did purchase The Haunting of Hill House, which I hauled in my last haul video, so that is on my TBR. But when I saw this one, I really had to pick it up. This cover is so gorgeous. Look at, when you open it up, it like continues all the way across. I think it's so creative, and I love the illustrations on there. I don't know too much about this book, but I know it's about this girl and her family. It seems like it's a pretty quirky, weird book, so I'm hoping that I will really enjoy it. The next book that I have to share today is one that I've already read. It is an all-time favorite, and that is The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. This book is one of my all-time favorites. I always recommend it to people, especially if you're starting out in horror. The way it's written is very clever, and the twist at the end you do not see coming, and it makes you want to reread the book so that you can see all the hints that were dropped throughout the book. It's super creative. All of Catriona Ward's books are very unique, and I really, really appreciate this author's writing. But when I originally read this book, I got it from the library, and I loved it so much that when I saw it in paperback, I had to get it. So if you have not read this book, I highly recommend. The next book that I have to talk about is The Devil House by John Darnielle. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. This book I purchased solely because of the cover. I absolutely love haunted house stories. I love that house that is reflected as sort of the devil. I just think the black and white with the red, it's gorgeous. I love this cover. But after I read the inside, I am very intrigued. The story is about Gage, who is a writer who moves into a house where a couple of murders have happened, and he is investigating and researching the murders, and the more that he learns, the more he's realizing things aren't exactly what he thought they were. It seems really intriguing, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I've also never read anything by this author before, so interested to see if the writing is something that I enjoy. I'm noticing that there's a theme right now with the books that I've kind of hauled so far. There's a theme of like writer going somewhere spooky, which I didn't realize that that was a trope that I enjoyed, but one of my favorite books is Kill Creek, and that's literally the whole premise. So maybe that's one of the things that I enjoy reading about. The next book that I have to share is The Grip of It, and this is a haunted house story, but it also seems like it's sort of a possession story as well. This married couple moves into this house. It's giving a little bit of like House of Leaves vibes because they say that it's very claustrophobic and it has like hidden rooms within rooms, so that's very interesting. The part on the back is what really pulled me in. It says, like the house that torments the troubled married couple living within its walls, the grip of it oozes with palpable terror and skin-prickling dread. I love that. When I read a book, I want to be terrorized. Like, that's the reality of the horror that I read. So I think this one's definitely going to be right up my alley. So I just realized that I have a book in here that I've already hauled, so I'm just going to skip over it, but I'll show you really quick. It's Anybody Home. It's basically just about home evasions, and it's terrifying, and I think I had it in this pile because I'm too scared to read it, so I just hid it away in my books. If you're interested in hearing more about this book, check out my other haul. I go into much more detail on what this book is about. The next book that I have to share with you is A House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Malerman. The reason why I picked this book up was actually because of Kayla from Books and Lala. She really likes this book, and usually the books that she likes that have a lot of intrigue and aren't very straightforward go really well with me. So I picked this one up. The back of the book is pretty vague, but it talks about these 17-year-old couple who are just starting their life, and they find a house at the bottom of the lake, and they have to decide whether they want to swim deeper into the house or return up to the surface where it is safe. So I don't think this is going to be that straightforward. I never know how to describe these books. I always just say they're not very straightforward, but it's like, it's more than that. It's more like intrigue, and it's saying a lot without like a straightforward plot. They're so hard to describe. I gotta get better at that because I don't do these books justice, but I absolutely love them. I love reading between the lines, and I love a not straightforward plot. So looking forward to reading this one. The next book that I have to share with you is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. I actually mentioned this one on my June TBR, which will already be uploaded by the time you're seeing this. No, Buggy, I'm in the middle of filming. I literally have 3 books left to film. Okay? Lay down. My dog has decided that he requires all of my attention right now, so I'm sorry for the interruption. So I'm actually reading this book as a buddy read with Mary from Books with Tofukado and Michaela from Michaela Reads, so I'm very excited about that. But this book is basically about a woman psychopath who loves food and sex and murdering people. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I think this one is going to be a lot of like no plot, just vibes, which I am so interested in. Can you stop licking my foot? Anyways, looking forward to reading that one. The next book that I have to share with you today is The Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. Another one that I picked up because of Kayla. She really enjoyed this one, and the plot of this one sounds really interesting to me as well. It's about a man who loses his wife, and it deals with grief. It also has a lot of sort of like technology, and I really like sort of tech horror. Okay, I'm sorry if the position of the camera is different now. My dog totally mucked it, so I had to reset that up. I'm learning I can't film on the ground because he just thinks it's time to play, which makes sense because this is his domain on the floor, so I did it to myself. Anyways, so the reason why I think this book's going to be a hit for me is because I work in software, so I really enjoy when technology is incorporated into horror stories in some capacity. So I think this one's going to be a great read for me. And the last book that I have to talk about today is In the Miso Soup by Ryu Murakami. I hope I'm saying that right. I've heard really great things about this book, and not great as in positive, but great as in disgusting, and that is completely up my alley. The more disgusting and messed up a book is, the more I will enjoy it. That's why I think it's so funny that when people find out I read a lot of books, they're like, oh, you must be so smart. And I'm just like, no, I'm not smart. I'm actually a dumbass that just likes reading about fucked up things, so... Anyways, this book is about Kenji, our main character, who is hired by an American tourist to give them a tour of Tokyo's sleazy nightlife. And as the tour is going on, Kenji's realizing that this American might not just be a regular tourist, they may actually be a serial killer that is terrorizing the city. I'm very excited to read this book, so I think I'm going to somehow fit it into my next month of reading. I have never read anything by this author, and I think based on the books that I have on my TBR from them, I think they're definitely going to be an author that I enjoy. So hopefully this one's a hit for me, and I will continue to pick up more from that author. So those are all the books that I wanted to haul for you today. I apologize for the chaos with my dog. He is a big ball of energy. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and if you enjoyed them or not. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like the vibes here, please be sure to subscribe. As always, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you staying all the way until the end. And I will see you again next Friday for another video. Bye.